Thank you for receiving us. You have a fascinating story, and I would like to start at the beginning in Mondrian. Mondrian is one of the most dangerous places in Sydney. Can you describe the daily life there?
Mount Druitt is a place of battlers, strong people, big hearts, but just maybe not always have the best start in life, but we get there in the end.
Growing up there means often street fight.
I grew up fighting a lot, yeah. Yeah, maybe weekly. It become a normal thing. It's always fun when you're a kid, but now I'm an adult and have kids of my own, it's you have to always think about it, but it's a part of growing up, I suppose, especially out west.
What is the most important thing that you learn from that tough place?
Adversity. I've always learned to keep trying, keep trying to do better than what I'm from.
Fighting is also in your DNA. Your father is from Samoan Island, very famous place for fighting, not only a solution but also a tradition. How they transmit it?
Yeah, I was raised, with strong beliefs and strong will. We were taught to be tough, and it's like you said, it's kind of in our blood to fight.
How do you explain that every single man from Samoa Island are big and that strong?
We're big people. We eat good food, good genes.
The Samoan tattoo, pea, it's for adult people. I read that you asked to do it when you were a kid.
Yeah, my uncle told me that I wasn't tough enough to get the tattoo, and my mum said only real men wear this tattoo, so I said, we're going to get it for you, Mum, and I stuck to my word. To wear it is something that makes me very proud, and I get to represent my culture and my family in front of the world. It means a lot to me.
Samoa is a dreamland with a lot of poverty and alcohol issues. How it affects the daily life there?
I think it's like anywhere, there's different avenues you can go down, and different tracks lead you into the wrong place. So I think I went down there myself, you know what I mean, and I just realized that that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do better for my kids and do better for my family.
Talk about your mother. He's Aboriginal. People oppressed by Australian native. How would you describe the racism from people continental against the island people?
Australia has a long history, probably the longest in the world. I'm blessed to be Aboriginal, part of the longest living race on Earth, and there's definitely Australia has a short memory, that's for sure. It has a very long history, but only recorded a short time ago.
Did you have bonds today with that culture from both of your parents?
Definitely. I kind of copped it a bit, but from both sides. But this is what I mean by learning to live with things and overcoming it, and I've kind of put that into my life, and I've gotten pretty good at it.
With that background from your childhood in his area and from your DNA, it's a lot of strength, of pain, anger, violence. It was in your blood. You are ready to fight for your whole life.
Yeah, definitely been fighting for a long time now, whether it's physically or mentally, but like I said, this is what I do. I love it, and it has definitely made me the man I am today.
Fighting could already have been a way to succeed as a sport, but the first sport you choose was rugby. Why?
Rugby league is a big sport where I'm from in Australia, and growing up, that's kind of what everyone does. All the kids play rugby league, and it was something I got into at a young age, and I was pretty good at it. But I just don't think the rules and stuff like that wasn't built for me. So I had to pick a different route.
Maybe not only the rules, because your rugby coach told us that you were gifted on the field, really, but also undisciplined and sometimes disrespectful. Can you tell us what you really think about the world of rugby, the politics and everything?
I think rugby is a sport where if you have a good manager, you know, you kind of get different things. If you suck up to the coach, you get you get different things. It's just not in me. You know what I mean? If I play good, you pick me. It's very simple. Yeah, it's. I don't really like rugby league. I don't like listening to people. I like, making my own way.
Alone.
With or without, as long as I get there.
24 hours before quitting rugby, I read article like you spend 20k grounds in the casino. Gambling was like a hobby or more like that, like an addiction?
I could say it was a phase at that point in my life. Suppose you could call it an addiction at that point, but I think it was something that I was turning to other than, you know, than other things. I was missing my family. I wasn't living at home anymore. And I could say rugby league has a big culture of gambling and alcohol as a way to kind of shut yourself out from the world. But once I got home and I got back to basics, I kind of left that behind.
Alcohol could have been the real issue in your life. It could make your destiny change.
Drugs and alcohol is a big thing in where I'm from. I grew up around drugs and alcohol my whole life, but I think it's up to the person, you know, the individual. Of course, I like to have a beer. I'm known for having a beer, but when it's time to work, it's time to work. And when it's time for fun, it's time for fun.
When you stopped playing rugby, did you have any idea about what you're gonna do in your life for a living?
I said I was gonna fight, and I'm pretty good at them kind of things. If I say something, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try my best to do it.
In 2012, you made an exhibition fight against a former rugby star known as like a bad boy of the rugby league. You were 19, he was 38. Why did you decide to do that fight?
They asked me. If you ask me to fight, I fight. I take this as a job. If you pay me, I'm gonna fight. I don't care who it is, as long as you pay me my money.
That fight was in front of the entertained crowd, and maybe like, okay, I'm good at that. This is what I really want to do for a living.
I always knew I was a good fighter. Obviously from growing up and fighting in other places, but I never thought I was going to take it serious, you know what I mean? I was going through a lot of stages in my life at that time. Obviously I quit football, just was in the streets, drinking, drugs, enjoying my life as a young man, you know, and I didn't have many good leaders to show me what way I wanted to go. It wasn't until I had my son, and there's one thing I never wanted to be, was a shit dad. So I had to pull my finger out of my ass and get to work.
Is someone in your life that tell you that you have to take it seriously?
I was lucky for Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt took me in and I got to travel the world with Mark, and he showed me that if you do give this a good shot and you work hard, you can live a good life and you can travel the world. And it wasn't until I saw him and I walked out to his UFC fight in his corner, and I was like, I can do this and I can make a good living off this. And it was probably one of the best decisions of my life. I've got to travel the world, I've got to see many beautiful things and beautiful places, and all thanks to fighting.
You had impressive MMA start, 6 fights, 6 KO or TKO in the first round, 3 times less than 1 minute. And again, for your first fight at UFC against Coulter, in that time, it was too easy for you?
I suppose you can say that. When things come easy, I think you get complacent. You think it's just going to happen all the time, and definitely could happen. It definitely happened to me, I think.
That's why we can explain after that, the 3 lost in 1 year, what exactly happened.
Just, think I'm the man. In life, you can't think you're the best, you know what I mean? Because you do get woken up, and that's what happened to me, and I'm fine with that. I think that's how life works. When you think you're too big for something, life can put you back down.
What was the most important decision you made to reach the top again?
To be honest with myself. I think to be successful, to do anything good, you have to be honest with yourself. I don't think I was being honest with myself during the time of my losses. And I had to go back to the drawing board and think what I wanted to do and restructure what way I wanted to go about my career.
Restructure, I mean, most of them more professional.
Yeah.
10 of your 12 first fights, MMA and UFC, were in Australia. But after that, you decide to get away and to train in USA, Thailand, here in Dubai. Why is it like you need to stay away from temptation?
Yeah, definitely. I find myself, if I'm away, I have my mind on the job. And if I keep my mind on the job, I know I can get it done. And definitely, maybe a bit too much temptation in Australia. I work my best when I'm uncomfortable.
UFC is the ruthless world. 4 lost could have ended up your UFC career. Did you had pressure when you went back to the cage against Struve?
I definitely knew if I lost, I could have been cut, but it didn't pressure me in any way. I knew that before the Struve fight, I went away and I did some work and I changed a lot of things. So I was very confident that I was going to get the job done. But obviously, it does play in the back of your head. If I lose, I'm going to get cut from the UFC. It does play a role in my mind, but I knew I put the work in. I was too confident I wasn't going to lose.
Now you are on a series of 5 wins. The last one against Derrick Lewis, impressive. Can you tell us the incredible story about the way you signed that contract for that fight?
I was here in Dubai. I was drunk. And I must have been talking to Mick Maynard, and I was drunk. I didn't remember, and I woke up the next day and I had all these missed calls. So yeah, it just meant that I had to stop drinking. So it was good. Of course, I was going to take the fight regardless. But yeah, I didn't remember saying.
But you took the fight
Of
in
course.
his hometown, in his own place in Houston, Texas. And you beat him by the great way. Americans love knockout, trash talk, and show, like you do with the Shuvaza. Do you like this part of the job?
Of course, I think there's more to fighting than just fighting. We're a part of the entertainment business. I love to fight. I love to entertain. I think that's the bit I love the most. I don't really like the training. There's a lot of sacrifice, but I think when I get out there in front of the crowd and I get to perform and getting your hand raised is one of the best feelings in the world.
This is exactly what your coach, Sully, said to us today. He said that for training is okay, but the real Tai Tuivasa is when you enter the cage. What is the feeling?
It's like a drug. If you haven't fought, I think you can't understand, but I've got something to prove, not just to my family and my friends, but to myself. And it's when you win, it's indescribable. It's like you just want to keep doing it.
When you beat Lewis, you had choice between fighting Aspinall or Cyril Gane. Aspinall was number 6 and Cyril Gane number 1. So why did you make that choice?
I think in life you don't want to go backwards, you want to go forwards. And I think I deserve the fight with Cyril. I won 5 fights in a row. It's up there in the numbers, you know what I mean? It's one of the longest winning streaks in the UFC. So I think I deserve it, and I think it's one step closer to fighting for a belt.
This event will be a huge event for Cyril, of course, but also for our nation, because before your UFC was illegal. Are you coming to ruin the party?
Yeah, I'm definitely blessed to be a part of this history. You know, I know it's the first event in France, and I think it's going to be a great time. I've never been to Paris myself, but unfortunately, this is what we do, and this is my job, and I'm not coming to lose.
Cyril never been knocked out, and knockout is your special ability. It would be a special pleasure for you to knock him out in front of his crowd?
Definitely. You know, if I knock him out, I get paid. It's just how it works, and it's just how I work, you know. This is my job, and if I knock people out, I get more money. It's just how it works.
Some pundits talk about your limits. They say that you don't have plan B if you can't finish with your fist, and that you don't have the stamina for the long fight either. What you answer to them?
When you're asleep, you don't need stamina. I put people to sleep. It's fine.
To reach the top and to stay at the top, do you think you need to become more like a complete? Today's training session was about jiu-jitsu. You think you have to improve on the ground?
Definitely. I think you always have to improve in whatever it is you do. Well, I'm not going to go and jiu-jitsu nobody, but and in this sport I get to punch back. So you can jiu-jitsu me, and if I punch you in the mouth, then you get punched in the mouth.
How the fight gonna look like for you?
I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. Cyril Gane is a very great athlete. He's a very good fighter. I'm actually I'm a fan of Cyril. I like his fighting style, but I think one thing that I'm going to bring to Cyril is that I haven't seen yet is a fight. I'm a fighter. I'm not a point scorer. I'm not technical. I'm a fighter, and sometimes when you're in a fight, you're in a fight.
He was defeated for the first time against Francis Ngannou. He really needs that victory to bounce back. Do you think he will have the maximum pressure on him?
No, Cyril's, he's lost once against the champion. He shouldn't be, he shouldn't feel down or anything like that. I'm sure he's going to come Dubai. I'm sure he's going to come fully prepared and ready to take my head off, and especially he's fighting in front of his own people. I understand the fire, and I understand the work he's going to put in, but I hope he understands that I'm also coming to work.
He knows that he needs to do the show and that he maybe need a KO. You think that it can push him to do mistake against you?
We're going to have to wait and see. I think this is the best thing about fighting is on paper is paper, and in how things look is how they look, but when it's fight time, you never know.
Cyril's nickname is Bon Gamin. That means good kid. Do you think that in this world there is place for good kid?
Good kid, is that what it means?
Yes, Bon Gamin means good kid.
How do you say bad kid?
Bad boy.
That's me. I think we're maybe very different, but of course, there's good people always been in this world. I think he's a good guy. From what I see, I don't know him personally, but at the end of the day, this is a job. This is my job. This is how I get paid. And as you can tell, I like my money. I like to feed my family. And if there's a man standing in front of me that I have to he's in the way of me and my money, I'm going to have to do what I have to do to get my money.
Any message to him?
Good luck, brother. I'm coming to fuck up the party.